what you'll all be up to in the coming days?
On Friday, I'm bringing a group of 17 senators down to the border. We're going to be examining the facilities where illegal aliens are detained. We're going to be meeting with Border Patrol. We're going to be meeting with the leadership. And I'll tell you, the most astonishing part of it is the Biden administration is enforcing a total blackout on the press. We put in a formal request for the press to join us. We had a number of news outlets, including ABC News, that wanted to embed with us, wanted to bring a TV camera. And the Biden administration said there would be no press, no photographs, no TV cameras, no transparency whatsoever. You know, I've served now in the Senate 9 years. I've been to the border many, many times in Texas. I've been to the border when Barack Obama was president. I've been to the border when Donald Trump was president. Neither the Obama administration nor the Trump administration blocked the press out. And the Biden administration wants to hide from the crisis that is unfolding on the southern border. They want to hide from the humanitarian crisis of the thousands of little boys and little girls that are being abused by human traffickers because of their failures. And at the end of the day, the idea that the media would quietly go along with a press blackout, I think would be unfortunate if that's what happens.
The administration seems to be projecting they have a plan, they just need time to get it in place. How familiar are you with what that plan is? Are you confident that it's being executed?
By all evidence, the administration's plan is effectively open borders. If you look at what is happening on the southern border, it is the direct consequence of policy decisions made by the Biden administration. The instant Joe Biden got into office, he halted construction on the wall. He reinstated catch and release, the failed policy where illegal immigrants are detained and then they're released and asked to come to a court date in the future. And unfortunately, we know a very large number of them never show up at the court date. And most inexplicably, he ended the Remain in Mexico policy, you know, a great foreign policy victory, an immigration victory that the Trump administration had achieved, was negotiating with the nation of Mexico so that Central American immigrants who had crossed illegally through Mexico and were seeking asylum here would remain in Mexico while their cases were processed. The Biden administration threw away that international agreement. They're now releasing illegal immigrants in the United States, a great many of them in Texas. And I'll tell you, in Harlingen, Texas, the illegal immigrants being released are testing positive for COVID at a rate 7 times higher than the U.S. population. It is indefensible. And the only concern with COVID that the Biden administration seems to have concerns reporters. The stated justification for the Biden administration on keeping reporters away from the border is that reporters present a COVID risk. Apparently, the thousands of illegal aliens they're releasing don't present a COVID risk, and they're releasing them without testing them for COVID. But their view is if you're a member of the media, if you're a reporter, if you're a cameraman, if you're a photographer, you pose a COVID risk that nobody else does. It's transparently obvious what they're doing. They're hoping nobody sees the tragic human cost of their failed policies. And my hope is this trip, as I said, we're up to 17 senators now, and we're going down there to see firsthand, to show my colleagues firsthand what is happening on the border in Texas, and to shine a light. And my hope is the Biden administration will stop being driven by partisan politics and instead enforce the law, secure the border, stop releasing illegal aliens that pose a real risk for COVID transmission, and stop defying federal immigration law.
Is there a role for Congress to play here? Is there a compromise? Is there any legislation that could be done in a 50-50 Senate?
I think there's always a role for Congress, but right now the Biden administration is refusing to follow the federal immigration law. The federal immigration law passed into the books. Both houses of Congress passed it. The president signed it. It is the law. And the Biden administration is saying they're not going to follow the law. And the purpose of their press blackout is they're hoping that nobody sees the lives that are being destroyed because of their partisan political activity. Thank you, guys.